How long did it take you to actually get software for your accounting and your bookkeeping? Because I know if you're just starting out, you don't have a lot of clients, you don't have to keep track of too much. So
Mm.
the Excel thing does work, but there is kind of a tipping point. So go.
Oh, go. Okay. Right, it's my turn to intro, hence the awkward beginning. So, welcome to Freelance Life. And today we're going to talk about something that is really super titillating, thrilling stuff, some invoicing and finance tools. So, yes, it's not exactly a sexy part of freelancing, but it is part that gets you paid. So Meeks and I are going to share the tools that we are using to help us chase payments, invoice, and generally feel like we're adulting somewhat by being on top of our finances. So Meeks, why don't you kick us off? Tell us about what tool you use to manage your money, specifically your invoicing and business expenses, etc., and how do you use it?
So I use a software called Sage. I know that a lot of freelancers do QuickBooks and that sort of thing. There are a couple of online payment capturers and invoicing tools. This one was suggested to me by my accountant, so that's why I have been using it. It is quite a lot of setup, but it works for me. It's pricey. It's like about 6 grand a year. And I know that when we did our tax episode, the accountant is like, you can get much cheaper software. But I like literally renewed it for the year for that week, so I'm stuck with it for another year. But yeah, I'm used to it. It's quick and easy for me now to do all my invoicing, my quoting, everything. All my clients are loaded in there, and it's pretty user friendly once you get used to it. I think any software takes you a while, especially with accounting, because like numbers are not really my thing. What do you use?
So, sorry, just a quick question on Sage before we move on. Do you also track like your expenses in there? Is it income and
Yes.
expenses? Okay.
Yeah, so income
Cool.
and expenses. So what's quite nice about it is that you can link it to your bank to a bank feed. So that's what I've done. So every day I go in, I refresh the bank feed. It pulls in my spending from my account and my income from my account, and then I can allocate receipts and assign expenses. So I've got a full blown trial balance and cash flow book, etc., etc. It can do cool things. I say it can do cool things. I'm sure that all of these softwares can probably do the same thing. But I can kind of track what my income percentage is across my client group. I've got a year on year comparison on each month, so I can see like how I did last May compared to this May, for example. Lots of little things handy to know. I mean, it's not critical to know like what you did last May, I suppose, but it's quite nice to have that kind of information. So yeah, it's a full-on accounting software. I don't do my payroll because obviously I'm a registered PTY, so
Mm.
I have to do a payroll. I use FNB's free business business suite for that. So my payroll is on the back end of my F&B. They do have an accounting package on the back end of F&B, but I found that it was not kind of offering me what I needed when I was looking for software. So that's why I ended up paying for the stage one.
Okay. All right. So I use Stub, which is South African, and it's a startup company. I think they've been in the business probably maybe 3 or 4 years or so. And it is very affordable. So I pay 189 Rand a month for the pro package. I think there is another you can level up as well. And I found it, yeah, it is geared towards small business owners, freelancers, creators, solopreneurs, less so than I think accountants. So It's the dashboard. I don't know what the Sage interface looks like, but I find Stub is quite user friendly to someone like me who isn't really wanting to get too much into the details more than I need to, obviously. So yeah, I use it for my invoicing. It also connects to your bank account. I think that's what I pay the pro version for, is to link to your bank account and sync up my transactions. There's lots of things I don't use, like a general ledger, and a lot of, I think I'm perhaps underutilizing it, but for my purposes, all I really need to do is see what's coming in, what's going out, and be able to invoice, quote, keep track of my invoices, what's been paid, etc. What I also like about it is, okay, being a startup, I must say there have been a few, not major, but times where I've needed to contact support to say, oh, X and X isn't working. But what's quite cool is that the founders are actually on the end of the support line. They all take turns to be a week on support. So you get to chat directly to the founders, and they're very open to feedback and suggestions. So like a couple of things I said was, okay, can you add multiple currencies? And as a result, they've done that. So it's quite cool that the tool's continually developing too. So yeah, the free version is also very handy if you literally just want to send invoices. I can't remember what else the free version alone includes, but if you're looking to, so I've got a friend who does some private coaching. They've got a full-time job, but they do some private coaching on the side, and they just needed something that looked kind of slick and an easy way to keep all their invoices. So they use Stub for that. So yeah, I definitely recommend looking into it to people who, if you are still stuck on using spreadsheets or creating your invoices in Microsoft Word or something, Stub is a good entry into keeping track of your finances.
How long did it take you to actually get software for your accounting and your bookkeeping? Because I know if you're just starting out, it is you don't have a lot of clients, you don't have to keep track of too much. So the Excel thing does work, but there is kind of a tipping point where you start having to capture larger amounts, and I don't know, you start working with bigger clients, then it looks more professional as well when you've got like a thing that says Sage at the bottom because it's a recognized software. So yeah, when did you actually cut over? Because it took me a couple of years to actually
Me
get
too.
software.
I think I used spreadsheets for probably about three years or so. But I mean, nowadays you really don't need to. Maybe also, I mean, stuff moves so fast. Maybe back then we didn't have these really easy to use platforms. It was either spreadsheets or Sage or something that was, not as accessible. So, now that they are more out there. Another one that I used to use there was a free one through Old Mutual that was called SME Go, quite similar to Stub actually. So that was the first one I used. And for me, one of the main reasons for investing in some software was firstly to keep track of my invoices, because I found I was spending so much time working out who I needed to still invoice, who hadn't paid, who had paid. And, it became a whole job on itself, basically, was actually just keeping track of invoices. So having them in one central place was really helpful, and being able to tick that it's been paid or sent and, keep track of the status was huge. And then also for tax purposes, now being able to integrate my banking details, you can give all of that straight to whoever's doing your e-filing, and they have this, single source of truth for all your finances, instead of you having to do a lot of stuff manually.
That's quite nice. On my package, I can actually give my accountant access, and they just go in and get everything that they need. So yeah, that's the beauty of having a software. Is everything, like you say, a single point of truth. Someone's written for AI. Data lakes. This is a data lake of your financial information.
Oh, this is a new word for me. Thank you.
Yeah, so we want to know from you guys, what tools do you use? Are you still using Excel spreadsheets? I've heard Xero, Xero is also a pretty good software. What are you guys using? Pop it in the comments, and we will check you in the next episode.